Coming up on the show today, more Democrats go to El Salvador because I heard they have really good margaritas there. So, Nancy Mace drama continues, and Trump delights everybody at the Easter egg roll. God, I would love to do that. Would it be fun to go one year to the Easter egg? I think that would be super fun. Wear pastels, hang out with Trump and the Easter Bunny. Anyways, all that and so much more coming up on the show today. You guys can reach us on all the places, all the things, all the socials, etc. www.chicksontheright.com/links. Do that. Please also subscribe to this podcast if you haven't done that already. And then what are you waiting for? Start your morning with Blackout Coffee. It's your fuel.
Man. I need it bad this morning.
This is my third cup. Hopped up. Do it. Visit blackoutcoffee.com/chicks. Use code chicks at checkout for 20% off your first order. Do that. Blackout Coffee. Also, if you guys haven't already, check out our interview with Becky Weiss.
Yes, it was so fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun talking to her last week. It came out on Saturday. You can find that interview like all over the place, YouTube, etc. So check that out.
She's good people. If you're not following her already, you probably will be by the time you finish up watching that interview. So yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. I feel like today could be a bit of a long show.
Really? You think? Okay.
Well, there kept being stuff. And like, I don't even think we have all the things. I mean, there's so much that could have been included that we just can't include because otherwise it would be an all day show and we got things to do. So it can't be an all day show. So we're just going to get right into the things and the stuff and kick it off with the fact that we now know that Trump and his wife Melania will be attending the Pope's funeral. So, it was a little weird to see them say we look forward to being there only because it is a funeral. And that's sort of a weird thing to say about a funeral. But I get it. He wants to pay. He looks forward to paying his respects, I'm sure is what he meant by that.
Yeah. He's like, I mean, the dude was old too. He lived a full life.
I mean,
right?
that was a full life.
I mean, celebration of life. So you can look at it a couple different ways. Yeah.
So that is happening. Good for them for going. Crazy thing happened in DC, I guess, over the weekend. And that is that Kristi Noem was the victim of a theft. She was in a restaurant, apparently, and a thief stole her purse, which had in it her driver's license, her meds, her apartment keys, her passport, her DHS access badge, her makeup bag, blank checks, and $3,000 in cash. How this happened when she has full security detail, I have no idea.
I don't know.
It does not speak well of that particular security detail.
No, it doesn't. Also, who has $3,000 in cash in their purse?
Well, she did have a reason. She did have a reason for that. And that was because she was planning on using it for kids and grandkids Easter stuff. And so I don't know if she was like on her way to a family.
God, I want to be her kid or her grandkid. Dang. Right? We do Reese's peanut butter cups.
Right. I remember back in the day when it was like, if you got one of those plastic Easter eggs and it had $1 in it,
oh my God,
you were so freaking lucky. Like that was the best prize ever.
I know. I think the biggest thing my daughter got in one of her eggs was she got a little like $10 Starbucks gift card. She was all excited about that. I know, right? But it was a big one. Like both of the kids, like she got a giant egg. And then like Henry got a giant egg, and then I'll put like, ooh, there's a gift card in it. Woo. But I mean, $3,000. I'm going to
maybe there's a lot of grandkids. I don't know, but there might be a lot of people in the family.
Maybe perhaps.
Yeah. That's a lot of cash though.
It's a lot of cash.
I mean, this is how the other half lives, right? Like for us, we would have like $50 in cash, maybe 5 10s or something. And Kristi Noem's like $3,000.
She's just like, woo! She's Leonardo DiCaprio on the boat, right? I know. Okay.
It's a different lifestyle.
It is. So to speak. Different world.
It's a whole world of luxury that we cannot possibly understand, except when we treat ourselves to a little luxury ourselves. True. And you guys, I am currently wearing my Cozy Earth pajamas, and aren't they so cute? Yeah, but it's like a pale pink, and like against our pink background, you can't tell how pink they are, but they
They're
really
like
pink.
they're a powder pink is what they are. They're super cute, Mock.
There's pants, and these are my slippers.
Those are so cute, aren't they?
Yeah, they're super, super cute, and they're so comfy. So what happened is I slept in them last night, as I do. And then I woke up and I showered, which isn't a typical thing, but today I did shower. And then I looked at them and I was like,
I'm gonna put them back on.
I'm putting those back on.
I'm putting
The
them back
only
on.
change I made is that I am wearing a bra because I thought that would be inappropriate.
Yeah. Some of the guys in here are like, it'd be fine if you wouldn't have worn
It's
a bra.
fine.
Would have been fine.
But they're just so perfect for lounging in, and I'm not going anywhere today. And so I just thought, why would I put on actual clothes when I can like crush my lounging game, as Cozy Earth likes to say? This is when you want to treat yourself, because these are high-end PJs. They're made of like this amazing fabric, and it just feels like you're lounging in luxury. I don't know how else to put it. Also, they are so behind their products that they have a money back guarantee if you're not satisfied. And their bedding is amazing. Their sheets, we don't like sleeping on anything but their sheets because they have that temperature regulating component in them that makes it so comfortable to sleep on hot nights, on cool nights. It doesn't matter. You are totally regulated. And you guys, 'tis the season. You realize Mother's Day is coming.
It's a great, I have a robe from Cozy Earth. That is a great gift for a mom. The robes are chef's kiss. So great. Yeah.
So, I mean, what a great gift for a mom for Mother's Day. No matter what kind of mom you've got in your life, it's a great gift. You can check them out. Get 40% off today when you go to cozyearth.com/chicks and then use code
Do it.
Crush the lounging game.
Crush it.
At cozyearth.com/chicks.
All
right. Let's continue. We have some new polling. I know, listen, you take all polls with a grain of salt. I get it. And I agree. But there is reason to be a little concerned because this new poll shows the change between January and now. In January, on a 2026 generic congressional ballot, the GOP was ahead by 7. By March, our lead was down to just 2. And now in April, we're behind 5. The Democrats have enjoyed a 12-point swing in their favor. And as Red State's Banshee pointed out, he said, fake poll, yada, yada, yada. But the alarm bells are ringing. This economic policy is not working and Americans are losing patience. Ignore that at your own peril. All the memes in the world are going to be of little comfort if we get blown out in 2026. And it's just a reminder.
Yeah,
that you got to vote in 2026.
Right. We got to get out and vote because we have more people to do that. We do. We have the numbers to get out there and do that. Now, so they're talking about the tariffs. They're just freaking out about all the tariffs and stuff like that and his economic policy not working.
Right.
It takes more than 3 days.
It does. It does. But people, when it comes to their pocketbook, people can have very, very little patience. So
I get it, but I mean,
something to watch.
But I mean, like the pocketbook thing, I think a lot the ramifications of that are showing up in stock portfolios. You know, it's like I'm not seeing any ramifications like in eggs or gas or anything like that I've not seen over the past 4 years. So this is the thing. I'm kind of like seeing it. I'm looking at the long game.
Same.
And I think they are too. It's just that some of these people are like, well, I mean, my stocks are, oh my God. And like and I saw somebody on Twitter yesterday, some dude who was like, I voted for Trump the last several times. I mean, I voted for him all the times that I needed to vote for him. But now I'm really pissed off because my stock portfolio is tanking. And it's like, can you just calm down? You know, and this is like a 45-year-old dude. You got time, you know? You have time, just like let it ride. But some people are just really fixated on that. And then there are a lot of other people, like we talked about on the show, who they're not even in the stock market.
Right. Right.
You know?
And this is of little importance to them.
Right.
But, it's a poll that looks at a period of time and the results aren't great. And so we just need to take it with a grain of salt as we do with any poll, but just recognize that there are people out there who are concerned about the economy and not shifting in the right direction. And so it's just something to be aware of. And obviously we'll keep watching, but
right.
It should, the biggest message here is to not get complacent. We all know that he's in it for the long game and he's trying to fix an enormous broken system.
Right.
And that does take time, but not everybody has the patience and the understanding of these things
God.
as our audience does.
They
And
really
so
don't.
it's just-
they want
yeah.
an overnight fix. And it's like, do you know how long it took for these people to break it?
Right. I know.
It's like having a baby and expecting to be thin again in like a day.
Right.
It took you 9 months to grow the baby. Give yourself some time to lose the weight. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can take like 20 years.
Sometimes it takes 30. Give yourself some time, ladies.
Are you ready to read a tweet from Trump about courts? Because he's very, very frustrated.
I can't wait.
About courts, as he should be. I think we all are frustrated with courts right now. Here's what he said.
I'm doing what I was elected to do, remove criminals from our country, but the courts don't seem to want me to do that. My team is fantastic, doing an incredible job. However, they are being stymied at every turn by even the U.S. Supreme Court, which I have such great respect for, but which seemingly doesn't want me to send violent criminals and terrorists back to Venezuela or any other country for that matter. People that came here illegally. The courts are intimidated by the radical left who are playing the ref. Great Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito correctly wants to dissolve the pause on deportations. He is right on this. If we don't get these criminals out of our country, we are not going to have a country any longer. We cannot give everyone a trial, right?
Yes.
Because to do so would take, without exaggeration, 200 years, not to mention a lot of freaking money. I didn't say, he didn't say that, I did. We would need hundreds of thousands of trials for the hundreds of thousands of illegals we are sending out of the country. Such a thing is not possible to do. What a ridiculous situation we are in. Make America great again.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Thank you. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I see so many. In fact, I've been fighting with a friend of mine from childhood who's just going on and on about due process. And if they can take this guy out of the country, what are they going to do to you? And I'm just like, were you worried about due process with the January 6 people? I don't remember a big post on that during that time. It's really weird how that works. But I mean, now all of a sudden, all these people are worried about due process when we're taking the people out of the country. Didn't give two craps when these people were coming into the country unvetted, and coming in on planes.
And the due process should have been to vet them. That's part of our system. Our whole legal system requires that people be vetted before they come into the country. Right. That did not happen, so it doesn't happen on the way out.
I don't think it should either.
That's how it should work.
I agree. I totally agree. But man, they are hell bent on doing this. And it's like, well, then you pay for it.
Right. And have them stay at your house while they're waiting for their court case.
Yeah, they won't do it. It's always the entitled, like upper middle class white people in the super white neighborhoods that are crying for this stuff. And it's just like, okay. How does it feel? How does it feel to always feel like protected? And one of the things that I asked my friend who I was fighting with is I'm like, have you known anybody that's died of a fentanyl overdose? Do you know anybody that has, had a family member or known anybody that has been raped or murdered by an illegal? Do you know? Because I'm glad that you don't know somebody. I mean, I'm happy for you, but I can't say the same, because I do know people that have been affected by this, and that's not okay because those people should not have been here.
You're right. Exactly. That's the whole ass point that people keep putting aside because they want to make a political narrative out of it. So infuriating. Trump also tweeted about the Arizona governor's race. And he said, I like Karen Taylor Robson of Arizona a lot. And when she asked me to endorse her with nobody else running, I endorsed her and was happy to do so. When Andy Biggs decided to run for governor, quite unexpectedly, I had a problem. Two fantastic candidates, two terrific people, two wonderful champions, and it is therefore my great honor to give my complete and total endorsement to both.
Oh my God.
Either one will never let you down. Make America great again. So
that's interesting, right?
This is very interesting because it essentially makes him a neutral party in the primary for this governor's race. So
Yeah,
I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, that'll be really, really interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And speaking of governor's races, an interesting candidate has emerged for the governor of California, and it is none other than Stephen Hilton from Fox News. He released almost a 3-minute campaign ad to make the announcement. Here is just a little piece of it towards the end of it.
Let's make California an inspiration again, the very best of America. There's only one way to do that. We've got to end the one-party rule that got us into this mess. It's time to end the years of Democrat failure. It's time for a new future. That's why I'm running for governor, to make this beautiful state that we love so much truly golden again.
I mean, listen, my Great Dane could do a better job than Gavin Newsom, so whatever. Whatever.
I mean, it's very interesting. Sandy's asking about his accent. He was born in the UK. Because I listened to the whole ad. It was very interesting to hear his background. His parents were, not wealthy at all. He made them super proud because he was accepted to, God, I can't even remember what university, but like he made a real name for himself and then ultimately moved to the United States, to California, earned his citizenship, which he's very, very proud of. One of the best moments ever for him. And now, he wants to give back. And so there is one of, maybe he'll be the only Republican candidate. I have no idea. It's going to be a tough sell in blue California, but who knows? Who knows?
Somebody who came here and earned their citizenship, they don't take that for granted.
No, not at all.
So that there is something to be said for that. Mm-hmm. So God bless him, Godspeed.
Yeah. I mean, and, coming as an immigrant and then becoming a citizen, it's so often true that immigrants like him end up having more love and affection and patriotism for the country than people who were born here. And
because we take it for granted. So many people in this country take it for granted.
And I think it's because they don't know so much about our history, so much about civics. And we have a solution for those people. Hillsdale College, which everybody knows as a conservative college, one that teaches traditional American values, they have and have long had free online courses that you can take. I know my mom has taken some. You've taken some.
Taken them. Yep, they're great. I took one on the Constitution a couple years ago. Fantastic, you guys. They're easy to take. They're fun. I mean, they're just so good. So good. And you can kind of go at your own pace. They're just great. I highly recommend doing these if you're interested in kind of refreshing yourself on everything civics. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they have. I mean, you can choose from several different courses related to history, religion, politics, sciences, arts, economics. Victor David Hanson is one of the lecturers. They right now have a brand new capitalism class. It's called Understanding Capitalism, because so many people that you see in these ridiculous rallies are like, capitalism is evil. And it shows that they just have no understanding that this is the system that has brought more people out of poverty than any other in the world's existence. And so it's a 7-part lecture or 7-part course. They talk about the role of profit and loss. They talk about how human nature plays a role in our economic system. They talk about what capitalism really is and why so many people in these rallies and these protests get it wrong, and why ultimately it is the system that encourages morality. So again, this is free. It is online, super easy to start. Anybody can register. All you have to do is visit hillsdale.edu/check.
Do it. It really is fantastic. The fact that it's free. I mean, how wonderful is that?
I know. Like, why would you not,
exactly.
take it yourself or encourage your kids to? It's a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. There are problems with Kanye. And I know that goes without saying. But he made a very wild and strange admission, I guess, yesterday that's got everybody talking. And that is, I mean, I hate to even read it out loud, but he essentially released a new song. This is just a screenshot from this video. And it says, the song is called Cousins. It's about my cousin that's locked in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him that we wouldn't, quote, look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6. And then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and I
did that.
He did things to his cousin till he was 14. So naturally, like the world exploded when this tweet, and I think it was originally on Instagram when it came out. And it's just like, what do you do with this? What do you do with that?
Well, I think it's a contest now to see like what the craziest crap he can tweet really is. You know what I mean? Like he's just throwing spaghetti at a wall at this point. The dude is, I mean, he may have been sane at one point, but I think that Kardashian women make men crazy. He's definitely, he's out there, you know?
He's definitely out there. And then, you know, within just some hours after tweeting that early this morning, he then starts tweeting rage about how he doesn't have access to some of his kids. He said, why is the celebrity world, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kendrick, Rihanna, Rocky included, Trump, Elon, why are you all watching and letting Kim take my kids from me in real time? Y'all want to say I'm acting out because of things in my childhood, but I don't get to be a dad. As celebrities, we're family in a way. We're all in the same boat. Cuts me to my core that my kids are being indoctrinated to serve ideals to Black people. What? And all these effing celebrities just get the popcorn. You guys can make a difference. I'm effing shaking typing this. I've had my rights stripped because I wore an effing red hat. That's when I had a breakdown and was put in the hospital.
Yeah, I know, right?
I just don't think he's well.
No, he's not well
at all.
He's totally not well at all. No.
So,
no.
And if I were Kim, I would also be doing pretty much anything in my power
to keep him away from the kids.
Yeah. Not that she's some sort of prize mom, but like, yikes, you know?
Yeah. Those kids are the ones who are going to suffer, man.
Oh my God. Also, speaking of education and kids, we've talked a lot about how Trump has pulled funding from Harvard because they have refused to agree to protect their Jewish student population. And now I've just read, I could not believe this is true, but Harvard has decided to sue to stop the funding freeze. They are saying it is unlawful and beyond the government's authority to not give them taxpayer dollars.
What? My God.
What in the world?
I'm suing you for not paying me because I'm not
giving you access in entitlement funding
to our money,
taxpayers' money that we don't even want to give them.
We're that entitled. Hi, I'm Harvard. I'm that entitled at this point.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
It's just incredible.
They've literally been stealing from us for years. And they're like, we want to continue stealing and you won't let us. You won't let us.
And the amount of money that we give is like in the billions.
It's obscene.
In the billions.
Absolutely obscene. You can suck it, Harvard.
Right?
Absolutely suck it. I cannot. These
outrageous.
And they're suing. The audacity. There's an actual lawyer or team of lawyers who are like, this sounds like a good idea. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's sue. Let's sue. Wow.
It's crazy. Absolutely. You know what?
Crazy. And every single one of those lawyers probably went to Harvard and got their law degrees.
Right.
You know they did. God.
I don't even know how at this point the Trump administration keeps track of all the lawsuits. It's constant. It's like probably hundreds per day at this point.
He guffaws at all of them.
Because he's got a lot of lawyers, but we're paying for it. We're also paying for all of that. You know what I mean?
It's insanity.
Oh my God.
Lawyers.
We talked about Nancy Mace yesterday and her accusations of a very angry gay in an Ulta who was asking when she was going to host another town hall. And then that escalated into them exchanging F-bombs at each other. And it was really, really ridiculous. Nancy Mace cannot stop tweeting about it. And she really, really, really wants everyone to know how badass she is. So every few hours, if you go to her Twitter account, there's a new post saying, when somebody barks, I bite. Yeah, or I never back down from a fight. And here's an example of this guy in short shorts harassing. I mean, it's constant.
You know what?
It's every few hours.
He wasn't angry. Like you and I talked about this before the show, and I won't say what I said, but he's a bitchy gay. He's bitchy.
He's a bitchy gay.
He's just bitchy. That's it. Like, so she should have handled him accordingly. You know,
he did not threaten her. He kept at least 6 or 7 feet between them. She wants to say that he was harassing her. I've watched the video multiple times. I do not see it.
No,
but she cannot stop tweeting about it. And
I didn't take him as angry. Yeah, I didn't take him as angry at all.
So one of the tweets that she put out was, and this was 6:30 last night. She said, "Never thought we would need to say this, but if you harass a congresswoman in public while wearing Daisy Dukes, maybe you are the problem." And then she went on Hannity last night. And I thought she was rather sympathetic. Like when she was explaining why she reacted the way she did, I thought, okay, well that sounds slightly more not as attention whory. So I gave her a little bit of grace when I saw her Hannity video. Here it is.
We are headed to...
Oh, you know what? This is not Hannity. I forgot. She had more videos to share with us before the Hannity one. Mm-hmm. She wanted to talk about, she was driving with her communications director to the Turning Point event that she was about to go to and speak at. And so she was introducing her new comms director and wanted to make sure that everybody knows that she is a fighter.
University of South Carolina, we are doing Turning Point USA tonight. That's Sydney. In the back, just got promoted to comms director today, youngest comms director on the Hill. And she was just saying, your first day, when you came to work for me last year, your first day of work, what was it?
George Stephanopoulos.
Oh, it was George Stephanopoulos was her first day when she ever worked for me for the very first time. And then today, her first day as comms director is Daisy Dukes Day. Yeah, that guy. It's not the first time I've ever used language with people before, and it certainly won't be the last. You don't have the right to harass me. It's not ever going to be okay. And if you want to get in my face, expect it right back, and I will record you and I will make you famous.
So a lot of people, I saw somebody saying, why do we need to rehash this? It's because she keeps talking about it. It's
right.
Like if she didn't talk about it, then we wouldn't talk about it. You know what I mean?
Because I don't know if you guys knew this, but we cover the news of the day.
Right.
And this continues to be the news of the day.
Because she's making it the news of the day. You see what I'm saying? That is the whole point here, is that she wants to make it the news of the day. Plus, I don't know if they were Daisy Dukes as much as they were jorts, which is even worse.
They weren't jeans. They were like a cat, almost a khaki.
Oh, were they khaki? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in any case, she also said in the morning yesterday, good morning to everyone except men who wear Daisy Dukes. And the Daisy Dukes guy created a Twitter account to respond to her and said, I asked for a town hall. You threw a tantrum in Ulta. If my Daisy Dukes rattled you that much, maybe public office just isn't in your size. Still waiting for my town hall invite.
And he has a little picture of shorts.
I know. And so then, of course, she got on Hannity. And this is where I felt like she positioned herself much better than she does on Twitter. Here's what she said on Hannity's show.
What happened? What was going on behind the scenes? And how did the issue of gay rights come up in that conversation?
Well, right. I just wanted some face wash. That was it. I went to the store. I had a little bit of time to myself on Saturday afternoon, want to go shopping like I do. I'm a normal person. I do my own grocery shopping. And this guy approached me, and I will tell you, I felt threatened. I felt harassed. And I will tell you, as someone who's experienced trauma in her life, and a lot of women will understand what I'm talking about, when some guy gets in your face and approaches you in the aggressive manner that he did, and you feel like you're in danger, instinctively, as women who've been through trauma, who've survived sexual assault, survived domestic abuse, you have two options. You can fight or you can flee. And Sean, I'm a fighter. And I've never stood back down from a fight. I will stand my ground like any strong woman should. And I will tell you, this was the third incident I had last week alone. The incidences of threats, the threat of violence, the people coming up and harassing me in public has increased exponentially over the last 6 months since I came out, standing up against the trans community, standing up against men in women's dresses. And I just had an event at the University of South Carolina about an hour ago. I wrapped it up, and a man in a dress picked up a potted plant and acted like he was going to throw it against me. I just posted that video on Twitter. You can follow it at Nancy Mace or nancymace.org. You can find it online. But my security team thought he was going to throw the plant at me because I used the word babe. He was offended by it. And then I used the word trans, and he was more offended by it. But the lunatics on the left, they're dangerous.
And Eli responded to that as well and said, Nancy Mace, South Carolina's national embarrassment, has two real talents: lying her way into a Fox News segment and bending over backwards for political sugar daddies with deep pockets. She doesn't get to spin a narrative about me when the receipts are as plain as day. I was polite. She threw a tantrum. So Nancy, hold the line if it makes you feel tough, but don't be shocked when that line at the polls ends your little performance run in Congress.
Yikes. He should have changed his name to Daisy Duke, dude. Like, it's a missed opportunity. You know,
it really is.
He should have totally done that. He would be famous overnight because, you know, she makes people famous. This is what she does. I just, this is not, I think this is a bad hill for her to get up on, at least with this one. I don't know why she just keeps running with this. Just maybe. Well,
the good news, I guess, to your point, is that now there's a new one. So she mentioned this person that she thought was going to throw a plant at her. This guy, a guy in a dress, literally, because you can hear his voice change back to a dude when he gets riled up. This is one that she's now posting, and she's going to run with this. And I think it puts her in a better light, at least, than this first Ulta experience does. Here's what happened at University of South Carolina.
Does your husband call you babe?
I'm not married.
Okay, so even better.
And I don't care.
Okay, so I would like for you to apologize because that is derogatory. And second of all,
Is tranny derogatory to you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course the fucking is.
Tranny. Yeah. Tranny. If that's derogatory,
You are representing
the voice.
Right?
Oh my God. It's like watching The Exorcist, you know?
Yes.
Seriously. It's like watching the girl in The Exorcist getting possessed. And then all of a sudden I was waiting for that person's head to start spinning around and green crap to start coming out of its mouth. The hell?
Yeah, that was crazy. Now, I don't know what happened with the plant. She says, of course, that she thought it was going to get thrown at her. Her security detail thought it would. It looked like the guy just wanted the plant and was just like picking it up and leaving.
So I don't know. Gift. I'm going to take this home. This is my swag I get to take home. Okay. Wow.
Anyway, she's obviously posted that, and we'll have lots more to say about it, I'm sure. But what Nancy doesn't seem to realize is that these confrontations happen to every single member of Congress all the time. Right. And yet she is the one that makes them such this huge issue every time. And so I don't know if it helps her or hurts her.
That one was unhinged. That one was a lunatic. Okay. I was waiting for the green stuff to start spewing out of its face. But you know, bitchy gay dude in Ulta, just kind of bitchy gay dude. That's it. You know what I mean? You got to like figure out. That's the thing. That's part of, I think, the job is figuring out, how do I handle each one of these people? You got to know how to people.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just, you got to know how to
be governor of the state.
Right. That's part of the job. So she's got to learn to navigate that a little bit better, I think. That's all.
Yeah. This is apropos of nothing, but I just saw it and I was like, wait, what? So apparently there's a new rule for the Oscars whereby the members must now actually watch all of the films in order to be eligible to vote for the films.
Wait, really?
Exactly. Like, I thought this was sort of a given that you have the only way that you can choose best picture or best actor or best whatever is to actually know how they did.
This was like, okay, I'm so confused about this. Like, I thought
Same.
in order to say this is the best film, you should have seen the film.
Yeah, and the competition to be able to say, out of all of these films, this one is for sure the best.
Because
But
I've
apparently
seen
that's never been a rule before now.
Oh my gosh, which goes to show you that a lot of these films are being chosen just based on arbitrary things, like, I like that particular person in it, or I like that director, or like it has nothing to do with the actual film.
Isn't that wild? I was like, I saw that and I was like, this hasn't always been a rule?
Right.
What?
It is a popularity contest, Michelle. It is. By
Absolutely crazy.
By all the weirdos. That's
It's been a while since we have reminded you about our friends and sponsor at republicanred.com. These are the folks that want to start conversations with wine, which is the best way to have a conversation, is over a glass of wine. And so these are bottles of wine that look very patriotic. I'll show you actually the picture of their Patriot Starter Pack. So they really are. They're delicious. And you can get 10% off and free shipping when you use code CHICKS at republicanred.com, or you can just use your phone right now and grab a picture of that QR code to get right to the link. So super handy. We love the taste of the wine. We love that they offer all the different kinds, whether you're looking for a good cab, a good Pinot, they've got them all. They are delicious, and it just makes me feel good to support a company that I know shares my values. So think about getting the Patriot Starter Pack. You'll get 10% off and free shipping when you use code CHICKS at republicanred.com.
Lady Luck said that no good conversation ever started over a salad.
That's right. That's exactly right. I love it. All right. Let's get into some more news and some more things and some more stuff, because we need to talk about what happened at the White House yesterday. So obviously Easter was on Sunday, but the Easter egg roll, the traditional Easter egg party that they have at the White House, took place yesterday. And there were so many great moments, you guys. We have to share the intro.
Thank you very much, everybody, and a very happy Easter to everyone. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and it's a beautiful day today. We don't have to worry about sunburn, but looks like it's not going to be raining. It's going to be really something special. 42,000 people are expected all throughout the day, and it's an honor to have you. I just signed an executive order putting the flags of our country, all of them, all federal flags and state flags, at half-mast in honor of Pope Francis. So he was a good man, worked hard. He loved the world, and it's an honor to do that.
That bunny, that bunny's an upgrade. The Easter bunny this year is like the Neiman Marcus bunny, and last year's was like Dollar General on a smoke break. He was so bad.
And it was Peter Rabbit. The bunny this year is Peter Rabbit.
Is that what it is? Okay, because he actually doesn't creep me out. They usually creep me out.
Well, we'll have to get Scott Jennings to weigh in on that, because you know how he feels about adult size. Adult size bunnies.
Super cute. And then you remember last year, the whole
Trump's, we've got a reminder. Because Trump has the reminder about what happened with the bunny last year.
It was,
but
no. I was saying that last year Biden had Trans Visibility Day. That's what it was last year at the White House. It wasn't
ridiculous.
Yeah. And so this year it just looks completely different as just Easter in general. It was beautiful. And it was, it was the way that it's supposed to be at the White House, and not Trans Visibility Day.
It was all class. Like every bit of it was all class. Yeah, that's a great point. Melania read to the children. I'm not going to show the full book that she read, just the intro that she made, and then the very end, which was very sweet. And then she asked the kids in the crowd, she was like, so what did you learn from this story? And they were all like raising their little hands and answering questions. It was so freaking cute. Here's a little taste.
C-SPAN 2.
Hi. So I have a book here that I really like, and on the end you will tell me what you learned from it, and the name is Bunny with a Big Heart. That night, PJ and Honey Bunny watched one bunny movie after another, after another, after another, until there were no Happy Bunny movies left to watch. They all fall asleep. The end.
So cute.
How you doing?
It's
just
so
darling.
cute,
It's
right?
absolutely darling. Yeah.
Oh my God. And the accent somehow made it even cuter. Like everything. When she's like, Happy Bunny. I just love it.
And they all fall asleep. It's so cute.
It's so freaking cute.
Uh-huh.
Also, there was a moment where Trump was going around and shaking hands with a lot of the people who were visiting. And there was obviously, I think, maybe a member of his staff or someone he knew that introduced him to his fiance. And so he gave this couple a little bit of marital advice.
So, you doing all right? Our girls are in good shape?
Happy Easter, sir. I know, good to see you, sir. How are you? This is my beautiful fiance.
Nice to meet you, Mr. President.
Any advice for the new?
Make sure you like each other. Don't get mad.
Thank you. Yes, he is.
Make sure you like each other.
It's great advice.
It is great advice. If you don't like each other, don't get married.
That's right.
Period.
He also sat down with the kids to color and loved it. You guys, look at how much he enjoyed this.
I'm really into this. No, I'm really into this. It's tough though. We don't have a white crayon. What am I going to do? Leave it wet, I guess. Leave the whole thing white. Okay, smile up there, kids. You know, where your mom and dad said, First Lady. You know who she is? First Lady of the United States of America.
So cute. Seriously, the cutest. I know.
I mean, it's
He's
just
like, stay in the
hilarious.
lines. It's tremendous. It's huge.
And then, of course, he couldn't help reminding everybody what happened with the bunny last year and how different it was this year.
Do you remember the bunny with Joe Biden? Remember? Do you remember when the bunny took Joe Biden out? He's not going to take. He's not taking Trump out. Anyway, that was a beautiful moment when the bunny saved Joe Biden.
It seriously was. You guys remember that? And the bunny is so cute this year.
So cute. Yeah, not at all scary.
No,
not scary at all.
Uh-huh.
As Melania was leaving, there were people asking her if she had a good time. She was so gracious. Here's what she said.
So much fun. I think it's on real egg.
She's gorgeous.
I know. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And Trump couldn't leave without letting the audience catch him doing a little bit of Trump dance.
I love it. It's so great.
So cute.
So great.
And the Vances were not there because they were off meeting President Modi in India and doing a little sightseeing there. And their children were dressed up in like Indian garb and just looking precious. Here they are visiting one of the temples. They're so freaking cute.
The daughter's always like, I need a nap. Always.
Like, it has to be so hard for them.
Oh my gosh. She's always like, I need a snack and a nap. She's my spirit animal. Love that.
Because I mean, like the constant time changes and like that's a lot.
And that middle kid is like quintessential middle kid. He's like, I'm gonna go climb some crap. It's like, come get me, Secret Service. I double dog dare you. You know, they're always chasing that kid. I love it.
Oh my gosh. So cute. I wondered though, like what happens like with their dog when they're gone. You know what I mean? Like who takes care of the dog? Because I don't think they cart the dog all over the world.
I'm sure they have a fine dog sitter.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but like I feel bad for the dog that he's without his family.
Is it Atlas? Is that his name?
That sounds right. Yeah, the German Shepherd.
Atlas. Yeah, I'm sure. I like know the dog's name. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's okay. He's well taken care of.
I mean, hopefully whoever is taking care of him is also making sure that he's getting his Ruff Greens because as we know, our dogs love the Ruff Greens. And if you don't know what that is, it's this. It is a nutritional supplement made just for dogs and cats. They now have Meow Greens too for your cats that offers all the essential vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and digestive enzymes that your dog or cat needs to bring their dry, dead, brown kibble to life like magic. And so you just take a little sprinkle, a little scoop, put it on their food. They love the taste, and it legitimately gives results that you can see. Within 90 days, you're going to notice lots and lots of changes in your dog, whether it's a breath improvement in their breath, their coat, their energy level. All of these things improve because they're getting the nutrition they finally need that just kibble cannot provide. So you can try it for free. You can get a free jumpstart bag. All you do is cover shipping. You can go to ruffchicks.com, ruffchicks.com. Use code CHICKS, and then you'll be able to choose whether you're getting it for dogs or cats. Because with the cats, it comes in these little handy dandy single packets. So you know exactly how much to give your cat, because cats are cat size.
They're one size fits all.
Right. And compared to dogs, which are, of course, all kinds of sizes.
Definitely.
So again,
sizes. Yeah.
as Daisy can attest.
Yeah.
It's Ruff Chicks, ruffchicks.com. And then the code is CHICKS. I swear to God that the news was able to cover the Pope's death like exhaustively for hours and hours and hours yesterday. I was amazed that they could say that much about the Pope. But I did, and a lot of it was just like, okay, already, like, is there anything else going on? I get that this is important, but there is other news. I did, however, find it really interesting to hear about what's going to go on with his burial. And so I thought, well, maybe if I thought this was interesting, other people might too. So here is the scoop on where he's going to be buried.
This is the church where he will be.
What do we know? He's not going to be buried in St. Peter's. We know there were changes to the way he was announced as Pope. I love the way your obituary began with the fact that he was blessed by the people before he then blessed the people in turn. It's such a beautiful way to announce himself to the world.
So,
yes, go on.
On that note, what we do know, which is really interesting, he is going to be buried at the Church of St. Mary Major, not inside the Vatican, which is highly unusual. This is the church where he will be buried is the largest Marian church in all of Rome. I was just there a couple of weeks ago. It is actually the church where Pope Francis goes to pray before and after every single international trip that he does. So he has been there more than 100 times. And the reason, it's a really beautiful church. And the reason that he goes there, once again, is to bring the focus to Mary, the Blessed Virgin Mother. This is a picture of him there praying right before this really beautiful picture of the Virgin Mary. And so he will be buried there. And again, I think it's just, like you said, how the Pope has tried to do things differently, to break with the centuries-old tradition of the Roman Catholic Church and to bring attention, whether it is to the marginalized and the poor, or in this case where he will be buried, to Mary, a saint that he, of course, and the Blessed Virgin Mother, and to bring attention to her teachings and what she represents for the Catholic Church.
Yep. I saw a lot of walls. That's all. I noticed a lot of walls around the Vatican. Remember, he didn't like walls.
Well, he doesn't like walls for countries. He doesn't like borders for
just didn't like
nations.
The borders. Just walls are
like
bad. Walls are bad, you guys.
Walls are bad.
I probably shouldn't talk about that Pope. I'm just going to be out. I know that you want to talk about him. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm out. I'm just out.
Well, I only have one more thing to share about him,
Okay.
and it is one of my favorite Pope moments of his when he absolutely bitch slapped this Asian lady who was too grabby with him. Do you remember that?
I probably will when I see it. Yep.
I don't know why, especially now that he's passed away. I just love this clip so much because he's like, you don't get, it's so the raccoon, right? Don't tell me what to do. You don't get to grab me just because you want me to touch you. Like, you don't get to do that. Here is that moment. He's so mad.
Okay. Wow. All right.
I mean, she was grabby. she was very grabby. And he
Yeah.
didn't like it.
Somebody said he slapped a lot of people. Carrie said he slapped a lot of people.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I remembered that moment, but I don't remember all of his slappiness.
Like people, when you die, they want to remember all the good things about you. But there are a lot of bad things with this guy.
Megyn Kelly, I guess, laid into him yesterday.
There are a lot of bad things. He was a socialist. I think he was he had a lot of, when it came to immigration and stuff, he had a lot of terrible input when it came to that. I didn't like him. I didn't like him. So, but to each their own. I don't, he was a man. He's not Jesus. I talked to Jesus. So y'all
don't need to go between.
Y'all do you. Yep.
Speaking of members of the clergy, there is a fellow by the name of Andy Oliver. He's a pastor in Florida, St. Petersburg, I believe. And he is as gay as the day is long.
Everybody that works with him is too. I checked this church out. It is the wokest, craziest, social justice-y church. This is why people don't go to church anymore. It's because the church is like the Allendale United Methodist Church. First of all, it's Methodist. Okay. Like Methodist churches have lost their way, but it's like, this is what they call themselves, a bold, justice-seeking, reconciling congregation committed to full inclusion and radical hospitality.
Radical hospitality.
Yeah. And like the people that work for him, like his minister of pastoral support graduated from like theology school in Berkeley. So what this is.
God.
And then everybody that works there, like they have blue hairs that work there who are committed to social justice. I mean, that's what it says in their bios. I mean, this is a social justice whack church. It's not a church. This stuff disgusts me when I see this stuff and people are like, I'm going to church. No, you're not. You're going to some whacked out, like cult is what this is. This stuff drives me crazy. It's not a church.
Well, and the fact that they lit a candle in honor of an MS-13 terrorist is just beyond anything I could have imagined. But here it is.
In a spirit of solidarity, more than 50 justice-seeking congregations around the country have been lighting a candle of peace, hope, and justice. This candle represents Christ's light shining even in the midst of barbed wire policies that wrap tighter each day. This morning, we light the candle of peace, hope, and justice for all who are being labeled alien enemies and deported, shackled by fear that they will be next, or waiting for news that their loved one is okay. We continue to pray for Kilmore Abrego Garcia, whom the Supreme Court has ordered must be returned home after our government unlawfully kidnapped him to El Salvador.
Whatever. Shut up, dude. He's a pronoun pastor. They all he has after his name, he, him, his. Everybody has their pronouns in their bios. And it says he is a passionate advocate for LGBTQ plus rights, immigrants, racial justice, reproductive freedom, climate action, and all the people at the margins. What does that mean? All the people at the margins. First of all, so he's pro-abortion. You're not a pastor. Like, shut up and take all the seats, dude. Like, this is the kind of, I just get so enraged at this crap, because this is why people have stopped going to church, is because of crap like this. And Jesus is like, serious? That's not
what I meant.
This is not what no. No.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Like I couldn't believe that they're lighting a candle and being like, "Oh my God, we're praying so hard for MS-13 terrorists."
Right.
Terrorists.
Which, by the way, is satanic. MS-13 is totally
crazy.
It's satanic. So how do you square with that, Andy? I swear.
Yesterday we talked about all these rumors that are flying right now about Pete Hegseth and how Trump plans to replace him. And Karoline Leavitt put a stop to that actually during our show yesterday. She was on with Fox and Friends, and here is what she said about those rumors.
The president stands strongly behind Secretary Hegseth, who is doing a phenomenal job leading the Pentagon. And this is what happens when the entire Pentagon is working against you and working against the monumental change that you are trying to implement. Secretary Hegseth was nominated for this position because he is standing up for the war fighter, the men and women in uniform who are putting their lives on the line to protect our country and our homeland. And unfortunately, there have been people at that building who don't like the change the secretary is trying to bring, so they are leaking and they are lying to the mainstream media. We've seen this game played before. The secretary is doing a tremendous job, and the president stands strongly behind him.
I think it's a mistake to poke him. Like, it's like media weenies and career politicians are out there poking this guy, and I think it's the wrong bear to poke, man. He's like, I'm not effing leaving. I think the more you poke Pete Hegseth, the more he's going to dig in. And he's a fighter. He's a warrior. He's not going to leave. It's going to piss him off. You can tell he's getting pissed, and he's like,
oh yeah. Yeah, he answered the question yesterday during the Easter egg roll, and he let the media have it.
What do you want to say, sir, about the signal chat controversy?
You know, what a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax. Won't give back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. And on hoaxes, time and time and time again. And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids, because, you know, this is what we're doing it for. These kids right here. This is why we're fighting the fake news media. This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting hoaxsters. This group, this group right here, full of hoaxsters that peddle anonymous sources from leakers with axes to grind, and then you put it all together as if it's some news story. And when we know it, we know exactly what it is. So I'm really proud of what we're doing for the president, fighting hard across the board, and I'm going to go roll some Easter eggs with my kids. Thank you very much. Have spoken to the president, and we are going to continue fighting on the same page all the way.
I absolutely love that. The kid with the Chris Farley hair. Did you see that kid? He was like, yeah, that's my dad. I'm going to be that one day. You see that? You take that? I mean, he's just the whole time he's looking at the media, horrible media. And he's just like, you got that? You see that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love that kid. It was so great.
Well, and he was right when he said that he and Trump are in lockstep on this.
Mm-hmm.
Trump was asked a couple of different times during the Easter festivities about this. There are 2 clips of him defending Pete, and I'll just let them run together.
Doing that whole thing again. Here we go again. Just a waste of time. He is doing a great job.
Why do you still have confidence?
Because he's doing a great job. Thanks, ask the Houthis how he's doing. Ask the Houthis how much dysfunction there's none. Pete's doing a great job. Everybody's happy with him. We have the highest recruitment numbers I think they've had in 28 years. No, he's doing a great job. It's just fake news. They just bring up stories. I guess it sounds like disgruntled employees. You know, he was put there to get rid of a lot of bad people, and that's what he's doing. So you don't always have friends when you do that. Are you bringing up Signal again? I thought they gave that up 2 weeks ago.
There was a new report this weekend that he used it in a separate chat that included some family members.
It's all just the same old stuff from the media. That's an old one. Try finding something new.
It's so true. Same crap, different term, right?
Mm-hmm. It's so disappointing to see somebody from the GOP getting in on this. So Congressman Don Bacon from Nebraska is now demanding that he be fired. And I'm just like,
who's
why?
Who is this guy? Has anybody ever heard of this guy?
No idea.
Like, I want somebody to know who I am, so I'm going to do this.
Okay. Right? I don't know what's going on with this guy, but I assume he won't be the first, because you know how these stories just sort of build. I mean, it's a media story and certain people will grab onto it. And
whatever.
It's just like clockwork with these people,
Like,
you know?
what have you done? What have you done except for have a really cool last name? Honestly.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Right.
We talked about Scott Bessent a little bit yesterday. He is apparently in the midst of a huge push to make sure that people are financially literate. And I love this. When my son was just home for Easter break, I was so happy to find out from him that in his business math class, they are doing exactly that. They are learning all about how to become financially literate. They were even given specific assignments. So for example, my son he drew out of a hat essentially, and he chose to be a single white male that had just graduated with some degree, living in Iowa, making an annual salary of $48,000, and then he had to plan out and make like a
budget.
Like a budget, and show how is he going to pay for like all the necessities? How is he, what is he going to set aside for rent and savings and all of it? And I was so glad that they're doing this. I thought this is so great. And I love that Scott Bessent is driving this. He talked a little bit about that in a video yesterday. And here's just a piece of that.
Everyone should care about financial literacy, whether you are a student with a summer job or a part-time job during school, whether you're in college, whether you're starting your career, or whether you are at the end of your career. Making good financial choices creates economic security, and look, it's fun. You learn about the markets, you learn how to properly allocate resources, and there's a big payoff over the long term for something you can do early in your career.
I love it.
Yeah.
More of that.
They should be teaching that in high school, though.
They should, and they used to. But listen, I'll take it where I can get it at this point.
Right. Yeah.
So as long as they're getting it, because I don't even know, maybe had he not taken this class, maybe he wouldn't have gotten it at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it should be in high school. It should be like early in high school. But they got to learn about their pronouns. So what are you going to do? You know, what's more important?
Obviously.
Yesterday, we talked a lot about Van Hollen's visit to El Salvador and the fact that Maxwell Frost, the reason for my name today, was he'd asked for money from the committee that provides these CODEL budget monies. He said, I want to take a bunch of my colleagues and go to El Salvador. And James Comer, who heads up that committee, said, no. And so James Comer was on Fox yesterday to explain his decision.
Wanted me to authorize funding at my committee's expense to send them down to El Salvador and meet with this person for a photo op and to have margaritas and, enjoy the sunny weather. And I obviously denied their request. We're not going to spend a penny of taxpayer dollars for liberal Democrats to continue their stunts to try to appease the radical left-wing base when the American people spoke loud and clear on Election Day. They want our southern border secured, and they want criminal illegals deported, and that's exactly what Donald Trump's doing.
So here are the four that decided, I guess, to spend their own money, or maybe, I don't know if they pulled out money from their campaign coffer. I have no idea how they paid for this trip, but they went yesterday to El Salvador. It was Robert Garcia from California, Max Frost from Florida, Yasemin Ansari from Arizona, and Maxine Dexter from Oregon. The two women I had never heard of. They're something
horrible. I think that they decided to do this before they realized that taxpayers were not footing the bill. And then they were like, oh shit, we got to pay for it. Cause think about it. Cause Van Hollen did it. We paid for it. Taxpayers paid for it. There was all this publicity. He admitted it. And he was like, yeah, I mean, you guys paid for this. And then Comer was like, dude, we're not going to do this anymore. So Comer had to get up on a grandstand and basically say to taxpayers, we're not going to pay for this anymore. So I think they decided to ride the coattails before they realized, shit, we got to pay for this ourselves. Oh my God. And so they're stuck with the bill. Good.
I hope
Good.
that's true, man. I hope that it doesn't end up coming out of our pockets, because that would be infuriating.
They are insufferable. All these people are insufferable. Keep them there.
And they're all big talkers, right? Like they were all like, "We're not leaving until he comes back with us," whatever. And then they were denied access to him by the El Salvadoran government. And here's Maxwell Frost talking about that. And that was funny to me.
What do you know? Is there any chance you'll be meeting with Abrego Garcia while you're there?
Abrego.
Well, we're actually about to do a press conference to speak a little bit about this, but we got word at the embassy that our request has been denied by the government here locally. They say it's because we're not here on an official capacity. This is part of the reason why Representative Robert Garcia and I sent a letter to Chairman Comer of the Oversight Committee asking for this to be an official CODEL. But we're not giving up. We're going to continue. We have more meetings scheduled for the rest of the day. But part of this, too, is making sure that we keep the conversation alive. We're building off of the trip of Senator Van Hollen, and we're not the first members here, and we're not going to be the last.
What a waste. What a freaking waste.
Yeah, these people are morons. Like, keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Because I was telling you this morning in pre-show, I have friends who a couple days ago were like, we need to bring him back and there needs to be due process. And now that they're starting to see like who this guy really is and the truth, like we knew it. Right. But it started to come out and like the tats and the MS-13 and like, I mean, we knew it, but it's starting to come out. And then they're like, well, yeah, like they're starting to go, I mean, I don't agree with illegal immigration. And like, but there needs to maybe be some due process. They're starting to backtrack on like the really digging their heels in on this guy. And it's like, he is a gangbanging wife beater. Like, why would you want to like put your flag on this guy? But they're doing it. They're doing it. And like
Can't
more
stop, won't stop.
And so, yeah, exactly. And so we are seeing it when people tell you who they are and show you who they are, believe them. And that's who Democrats are. They are just like putting their flag in these criminals over the American people. We know who you are. We see you. We see you.
Max Frost went on with Will Cain yesterday, and Will was like, why are you there?
Right.
Why? And here is what he said.
Why, Congressman, are you in El Salvador? You are there for an El Salvadorian man who was a resident illegally of Maryland. You're a congressman from Florida. Why are you in El Salvador?
Well, we're here because a man who had protected status in Maryland, a Maryland man, union member, worker with a citizen wife and beautiful children, was taken out of his state and out of the United States back over here without due process. And for us, we're here for a couple of reasons. Number one is because every person in our country deserves due process. And we want to make sure that we draw the line here at Kilmar Garcia.
Really?
Unbelievable how they're going to the mat for this terrorist.
Yeah. And did they do that for all these other like actual American citizens, constituents who may or may not have had due process for certain things? What about January 6 people? I mean, like, did you see the outrage for that? No, I didn't see the outrage for that, especially on behalf of these people. But for illegals who are potential voters for them, oh my gosh, let's roll out the red carpet.
Yep, they go to the ends of the earth for these people.
Yeah.
And so one of the other women that was there, Maxine Dexter, she released also, woe is me sort of selfie video. Here it is.
Congresswoman Maxine Dexter here, coming to you from El Salvador. I flew here last night with 3 of my colleagues to demand that Kilmar Abrego Garcia be released. He is being held in violation of a Supreme Court order expressly telling the Trump administration to effectuate and facilitate his coming home. That is being ignored. This is not just a threat to all people in the United States who could be illegally abducted, detained, and transported internationally against their will.
Okay.
But it is a fact that our president does not recognize the branches of government and the balances of power. This is what we all have been calling a constitutional crisis, yet it is more severe than anything we've seen. We cannot stay silent. We must stay loud. I am here because I refuse to wait for something to happen. We are here to release Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Oh my God, shut up. Actually, it's Democrats who don't recognize the three branches of power because they're trying to use judicial strong arming to overrule everything that Trump does. When we actually elected Trump and we gave him a mandate to do this stuff, and they're like, nah, we're just going to ignore it. We're going to use all these judges who weren't elected by you to like overrule all this stuff. It is gaslighting. It's projection. It's gross.
Yeah, especially because it wasn't a constitutional crisis when Joe Biden very blatantly said out loud, I am defying the Supreme Court who says I'm not allowed to pay off student loans for people, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, they said that, but I'm still going to do it anyway.
Yeah. And you know what
that wasn't a crisis somehow.
And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to fly these people into the country. I'm going to fly all of these. How is that not a constitutional crisis? I'm going to fly illegals and like on planes with your money into the country. And now that this president wants to get rid of them, the people who were flown illegally in here, they're like, you gotta vet them. F you, man. I can't with these people.
Well, we also need to hear from Yasemin Ansari, also part of the same group of misfits.
And this is Congresswoman Yasemin Ansari. After a long day, we have arrived in El Salvador. I am here with several of my colleagues to demand that Donald Trump release Kilmar Abrego Garcia, union member, Maryland man who was wrongfully detained and deported, has never been convicted of a crime, and who the United States Supreme Court has ruled 9-0 unanimously. The United States must facilitate his return. Last night, I had a town hall in my district where a woman came and said her son, who is Salvadoran, they are scared to travel this summer because what if what happened to Kilmar Garcia happens to them? If there's not due process for Kilmar, there will be no due process for anyone. We want to make sure that Kilmar is still alive. We want to make sure that he has access to counsel. We want to make sure that the United States does what it's supposed to do, follow the Supreme Court of the United States and release him. And we are here fighting for the future of our democracy.
Is that chick's son, is he illegal? Is he an MS-13 gang member? Did he do something wrong? Then he shouldn't be worrying. Quit fear-mongering. Right. You know, it's like, what? Why are these people so dumb, Mock? Why are they so dumb? Why?
It is a mystery. It will always forever be a mystery.
My God, there is a difference between somebody who is from El Salvador in this country who has not committed any crimes, who is a legal citizen, and somebody who is illegal, who is a gang member who beats their wife. Okay. Oh my God, I can't. Okay.
Why are you so racist?
This is not hard. It's not hard.
Oh my God. I love Eric Schmidt, representative, I think from Missouri, who was on with Martha talking about just the fact that Democrats keep wanting to die on this ridiculous hill. Here he is.
Steve, that these Democrats are lining up to go down to a foreign country to visit a guy who was here illegally, a criminal, an MS-13 member who beat his wife. I mean, you can't be any more plain than that. That's who this is. So I think all along, Martha, they were looking for some example of something President Trump would do that was so bad that they could rally behind. I can't believe that they're that stupid that this is the guy. This is the poster child now for their movement.
It is. This is the guy.
This is who they're going with.
They just need to put like a DNC, like some sort of picture of like David Hogg on his shirt. You know what I mean? Right. And then with this little Kohl's plaid shirt over it. And he's just like, look at me. I'm the poster boy for Democrats now. These people are just insufferable.
I know. Their strategies always are
dumb.
I cannot believe that these are the people and the strategies that they go with, but this is what they go with. To your earlier point, you were saying that MS-13 is demonic. Here is President Bukele talking with Tucker about that very fact.
The major gangs.
And they are satanic also.
That was my question. So yes, I hope you will explain it, because very little has been written in the West about this.
They're satanic, yes.
But actually, literally, can you explain?
MS-13 started in Los Angeles in the US, but as the organization grew, they became satanic. They started doing satanic rituals. I don't know exactly when that started, but it was well documented.
Yes.
In our press, we've even found authors and things like that.
Yes, I've seen them. So human sacrifice was a part. So that's almost never described in English language press as clearly as you just described it.
No, which is weird.
Well, you sort of wonder why.
Yeah.
If there's a spiritual component that's driving it, why not just say so?
Yes.
But I guess my point is you saw it as that.
Yes, yes, of course. There's a spiritual war and there's a physical war. If you win the spiritual war, it will reflect into the physical. I think our victory was because we won the spiritual war.
Yeah. So somebody needs to tell Reverend Andy Oliver, he, him, his, that MS-13 is in fact satanic. But I guess it doesn't really matter to him and his little social justice church.
I feel like he would think that that's a bonus at this
probably.
point.
Yeah, because he
I have serious questions about that church.
Prays at the altar of Satan.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, and Jessica Tarlov has been absolutely insufferable about getting Garcia home, and the entire 5 crew lit into her last night or maybe the day before. This was so great because Dana Perino had to point out what it would actually cost for us to give due process to all of the illegals that Joe Biden had shipped into the country. And it is insane that this is something, again, that the Democrats favor. Here is the clip.
On everybody. You brought them all in, and now you want to do it one by one. There was a lot of mind reading in there.
Right.
Nobody's freaking out about this except the Democrats.
That's not
like
true.
In the last decade, we deported about 350,000 people a year. So if, Jesse, at that rate, it would take 28 years just to get the illegal immigrants that Biden let in.
Well, Jessica keeps on saying there's all these mistakes. First, she said this guy was picked up because he had a Bulls hat. And then he has tattoos on his hand that spell MS-13.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Read the symbolism,
true.
Jessica. What are you, a gang detective? Cut it out. And then he's wearing paraphernalia that says the slogan for MS-13. And then he gets caught up in a gang sweep with ranking members of MS-13 as part of a murder investigation. And then gets pulled over, he's suspected of human trafficking, then gets accused of slugging his wife twice, and she has it on video. And suddenly his name isn't Maryland Dad, it's due process. You transitioned pretty quickly, Jessica. And to say this administration never admits a mistake, you guys never admitted you opened the border for 4 years.
It's true. Wide ass open, you know?
Yep.
And now they're like, we have every single one has to have due. It's insane. It's insane. And it's not even just the time, right? It's the cost. I had to remind a friend the other day, we're broke. Does anybody, do we forget that? I mean, the whole Doge thing, we're trying to save money. We're trying to get back on track. It would be insane. It would throw everything out of whack. We can't afford it. We can't afford to do that. Get them the hell out of here.
And let's not forget that, of course, Democrats are trying to stop Doge too. Right. They want to obstruct everything that makes sense. And then they want to protect and enable everything that's bad.
Yeah. And listen, if Jessica thinks that he's harmless, have him come into your home again with your small children. I want you to do that. Have him come into your home and he can invite all of his MS-13 friends over. See how you feel about that in your little hoity-toity neighborhood.
Can I just tell you how much I love AI for doing stuff like this? Cannot love this any harder that they got Van Hollen and Garcia to dance. And also make out. Like they have them making out as well.
Would have been good if they lambada. That's kind of like lambada, is it? Is it like?
I think that's what that is. But like, look at how romantic. They gaze into each other's eyes.
They're very in love. It's very Brokeback Mountain-y. I can't quit you. That's what it is. So, here we go. Oh,
there it is.
Oh, there it is, you guys. There it is. So realistic. I feel like this is real. Do you guys think this is real? I mean, margaritas will make you kind of crazy, you know? Your real feelings come out.
I just love that people can make those.
I know, right?
Favorite thing. All right. Do you guys remember, it was a few years ago during the Biden administration when there was that guy that was caught, couple guys, obviously, having gay sex in the Senate chambers?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
So the guy that was the bottom,
God,
I hate that I even use that term.
Know, right?
Sorry.
What are we even talking
Very
about?
sorry.
It's like 8:18 in the morning. Okay. All right, here we go.
That guy, I completely forgot that this ever happened. Totally got rid of it from the file in my brain.
And then we burned it. We burned the file, but now it's back. It's back.
Now it's back because the guy is the guy that was the bottom. He is now living in Australia. When this whole story broke, he absolutely had a nervous breakdown and had to be committed to a mental hospital. And now somebody's tracked him down in Australia, asked him all kinds of questions about why he's there. He went into the big song and dance about that. But I thought it was interesting to hear him talk about why this sent him into a complete trauma meltdown. Here he is.
For myself, just a regular guy. However, it is alleged that I had sex in the United States Senate, and that is what I am allegedly known for. Mentally, I spent a little bit in the psych ward after the fact because it's overwhelming, you know? It's overwhelming to realize and to know that tens of millions of people literally despise you. I was a catatonic mess. Jeez Louise. So I'm just like reliving like so much trauma.
So he doesn't care so much about what he did. He cares about the reaction of people, what people think about him, which is also, that's pretty disturbing. But listen, if I saw this guy on the street, I wouldn't know who he is. I wouldn't be like, that's the guy that was the bottom in the Senate.
Well, because you didn't see his face.
Right. And now you see it. It's like, so he wants to be famous, basically, because he's out there talking about it. Why would he do that if he was so
because he's trying to bring attention to his OnlyFans, because that's how he makes money now.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, he makes money.
Oh my God. And he should again with the gay dudes wearing the short shorts. What is that?
I don't know what that. I mean, that's just a new. It's like the new thing, kind of like how mom jeans are back,
right? Can we just not?
Unfortunately,
with all of it, can we just not? All of it.
There is still, believe it or not, still chatter going on about when people knew about Joe Biden's decline and why they didn't admit it at the time. And so we've got a couple clips to share on this topic. One that is actually a flashback to last summer between Chris Cuomo and Gavin Newsom. And Chris Cuomo is trying to get Gavin Newsom to admit that maybe Joe Biden is kind of losing it. Doesn't happen. Gavin sticks to the script. Here it is.
On the major question tonight of is Joe Biden up to the task? That has largely been defined by his opponent. I think they set too low a bar, frankly. But what do you think Joe Biden needs to show tonight?
His face.
I mean, I think he shows it over and over again. He shows up in these big moments. One of the most effective debaters in decades. You look back at his last many debates. He's a skilled debater. He knows how to show up at prime time. He knows how to show up on game day. I have all the confidence in the world that when this next 90 minutes is up, he'll come out successful. He'll come out successfully defending his record and, more importantly, painting a compelling vision for the future.
Oh my God, that is my favorite. It's his face.
You guys, people were so dishonest, and we cannot forget it.
No,
we cannot forget it. And what's even more amazing is that people are still so dishonest. Like Elizabeth Warren cannot be compelled to tell the truth, even when she's pushed. And this is a pretty incredible moment. She was on a podcast. I think it's Sam, like Argoso or Fragoso, something like that. And this guy, to his credit, really pushes her, where finally at the end, she like concedes that he has a point, but she cannot tell the truth. And people should remember that when they're listening to her talk about anything, because this is a woman who is patently incapable of doing anything but lying.
Big moments. I have all the confidence in the world.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's all she was
Fair
doing.
enough. Fair enough. Yeah. I lied.
What a hag.
She's a liar. Of course, she's always been a liar. She's Pocahontas. She lied to get into school. Like, she's just a liar.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
How can anybody trust her?
embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. She's a liar. Bernie's a liar. AOC's a liar. Gavin's, they're all freaking liars. Liawatha. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right.
All lies.
I apologize in advance for the clip you're about to see.
Oh no.
But
What is it?
I had to see it. And now, if you had questions in your mind, like if you were ever lazing around on a Saturday and you were wondering to yourself, I wonder what it looks like when Nancy Pelosi dances.
Everybody wonders that on a Saturday while they're just hanging out by themselves. Don't you guys?
I can tell you that it involves some very odd hand gestures and movements. Okay.
Here we go.
There's a lot of, I can't even replicate it. You're just going to have to see her hand dance for yourself.
So uncomfortable. Oh my God. Is she having a seizure? What is she doing? What is this?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Our next meet and greet, we need to see like who can dance the most like Nancy and get a prize. Who can dance the most like Nancy? And then
It's like she just does this wrist thing where
like
it freezes. I don't know what's going on,
Yeah,
but
she's
now
an
we all
android.
know
I think
that's
she's
how
an
she
android.
dances.
Yeah. Mhm.
You're welcome for that.
This is why you come here, you guys.
That's
for
why you
that.
come.
Mhm.
Probably a lot of people saw this clip floating around yesterday. It was so funny. This comes from Australia. It's a news report about some sort of car accident or some sort of mishap. And there are two twin women dressed alike, identical twins who were witnesses to this accident. And they are giving their witness statement, their witness account to the news reporter. And they are so twinning that this goes beyond finishing each other's sentences. This is like the 20th twinning in Twin Town you are ever going to see.
Emerging from the wreck, here's some of what they had to say.
And one guy, he was up there with our mum, and he went up there, and he was coming back down towards us, and he goes, "Run! He's got a gun!" And our heart started to pound, and I said, "Oh, Mum, where's Mum?" And poor Mum was stuck up there, but apparently our brave Mum, she goes, "Are you all right?" Because he had all blood all over his face, and he goes, "I'll shoot you." She goes, "Hey, I'm here to help." And Mum distracted him to make him look the other way, and he looked the other way, and Mum ran into the bush behind the fence. And the guy goes to her, "I'll find you and I'll shoot you." All I was thinking about when we were running, I hope he doesn't fire. Yeah.
Make it stop. Make it stop. I'm
to him do you
freaking
think
out.
you were?
Well, see, he was up there, and we were past our
when you
driveway. You don't think of all of that at the time. No, you just run for your safety.
I am completely freaked out. Those are the Shining twins. They're seriously, they're the girls in the dresses holding hands. They're the Shining twins.
I mean,
Grown
that's
up.
incredible.
That's what we know what happened to them. We know what happened to those girls. Oh my God. It was so weird, Mark.
Well, if you thought that was weird, you ain't seen nothing yet. I learned about a new medical procedure yesterday and I learned about it on Instagram, which was not a place that I was expecting to learn about a new medical procedure. Why would any woman undergo injections into their labia?
Okay. But for what purpose? Like, I don't understand. Are you trying to? Is it for wrinkles? What is it for? I don't know.
It's for labia puffing. And I guess women give a shit about what their labia look like.
Do men care? Do men go, you need to have that puffed before I go on in there? You got to have that puffed.
I cannot believe this is a thing. You guys.
What are we doing?
Labia puffing. So we just did a labia puffing procedure. So again, this is where we increase the volume of the labia majora. It gives it a much more youthful appearance, a lot more volume. It also is a great way to sort of envelop the labia minoras and kind of keep them hidden.
She has a straight face talking about
the way
this.
we do it. We
serious.
just did it today. We do it under local anesthesia. So we just use numbing cream. We use a special device called dermal electroporation to drive that numbing cream in. I actually like to mix our filler with PRP. So that's platelet-rich plasma that belongs to you. I do that because it improves blood flow, helps with collagen production, and I think it increases the longevity of the filler. It gives it a really beautiful look. It's instantaneous. There's really no downtime. And then because we were here, we went ahead and did lips, the regular lips and the lips below. So it was a lip day. So tell us, was it painful? Are you happy with your results?
Yeah, it was painful, but not as painful as a surgery. So it was okay, and I'm happy with my results. I'm very excited. Yeah.
And what about your lips on top?
You know, that was a walk in the park compared to down there, but I remember it the opposite. So it's funny. I don't know. So it's good. I'm glad. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So if you're interested, give us a call. We offer a free complimentary consultation.
I wonder if he was looking at her. If he was looking at her menorah while he was talking to her, like, or a majora. What is it? What is it? The majora? I don't know. I wonder if he was looking at her badge like the whole time that he was like giving that talk. So he's like, "How'd you feel about the procedure we gave on?" But what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
I cannot imagine ever considering what that even looks like. You know what I mean? Like worrying about the appearance of something that really one other person should see.
Why do you want it to? Why do you want it to look like a puffer fish? Why do you want that?
That you want it to be more youthful? Are you serious?
I don't understand. If you want it to be more youthful, then divorce me and go find a younger person. Good luck with that.
Mike said, "Will it work for D's nuts?"
Just like, I think that it's like for wrinkles, the men, I think men actually do. Because remember we talked about George Clooney or somebody. I remember talking about this on the radio, ironing their balls. Men actually iron their balls, you guys. There's a procedure. I'm not even kidding. We talked about that on the radio, and I'm like, I can't believe we're talking about this.
But women, it has to be porn, right? Like, because how else would a woman get a complex about how that looks anyway?
Well, how else do women get complexes about everything on their bodies? You know, I mean, like women are turning themselves into cats.
But like, there's not porn on Instagram. It's not like you have to go looking for it.
You're right. It's
so
a great
life. How do you become a person that's like, I'm really worried about how old my vag looks?
Yeah, but don't you think that those women are the same women that are doing all the crap elsewhere? So they're already used to doing the crap. So they're like, well, I might as well just do it everywhere else. I feel like, because she's doing it in her lips. She's probably doing all the other stuff. She's doing all the augmentation. These aren't just women that go in and they're like, I'm just going to have my labia whatever done. And then everything else is going to look like
that's
a 60-year-old
They're
woman,
probably,
you know what I mean?
Which I get. I mean, I get that you become addicted, I guess, to doing the things once you start doing them. But that area is not outwardly visible to the world.
Well,
and that's why I'm just so like, why would you care this much?
For most of us, right.
So maybe porn stars are the ones that are doing it?
I don't know. Can we just stop?
I can't believe that this is a
thing. And how much does that cost? You know,
I have no idea.
You know, that guy is just like raking in the money for doing that to women.
It's insane. It is insane that any woman is considering doing that. I just can't believe it. Anyway, moving on. It's time for some Pillow Toks. And if not for social media, I love this video because this guy has the wonkiest eyes and he's British, so he's got the great accent. And he's showing us what it would look like if there were no social media and yet people still wanted everyone to know about their running. This is what it would look like.
You're right. Just been running. Yeah, just now. 6 kilometers, 32 minutes, 34 seconds. Yeah. Max heart rate 162, average heart rate 140. Yeah. Incline, 0.1% incline. Yeah. First 2 kilometers the fastest. Slowed down for the middle one, then picked up again for the next few. Sorry, why are you telling me this? Just letting everybody know. Just going like around everybody I know. Just like everyone, like friends, people I used to go to school with, ex-work colleagues. Just getting around everybody, letting everyone know. Here, mate, take this as well. Take this. Just marked on a map the route I did. If you need to have a look at it. So, yeah. All right, mate. Do you like it? Do you like what I've done? The run this morning. How do you feel about it? Would you say you love it? Like, okay, all right, yeah, see you in a bit.
It's literally every workout, Mock. It's not even runners. It's like every single person that goes into the gym and they tape themselves. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing it? Nobody cares.
I love that so much.
I don't care how many like chest presses you did. I don't care. Stop it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, this next one is, I know that this is something that many women struggle with their husbands, where husbands will remember some crazy ass shit, but the second that you tell them to pick up a specific thing from the grocery store, somehow they do not have that brain power.
And they can't find the ketchup in the fridge.
They can't find the ketchup.
There in the door. It's there.
Now, I would say I'm lucky in that my husband is the one that does the grocery shopping and he's good at remembering things. It's me that has the trouble. I have the menopause brain right now, so I forget a lot. But I do appreciate this fellow. This is a husband at a remembering bee. Okay.
8. Pat McAfee kicked a 52-yard
field goal against Cincinnati to send the game into overtime. It was a night game in Morgantown and about 38 degrees outside.
The Battle of Gettysburg took place
on July 1st to July 3rd of 1863.
That is correct, but please let me finish before answering.
Sorry.
This morning, your wife texted you to pick up what item on your way home?
He doesn't know. It doesn't.
What's the origin of the item?
Originated in Naples, Italy in the 16th century.
All right. Can you read the text?
Quote, Mark, size doesn't matter to me.
No, it's on down from that one.
Oh, no, here it is. Quote, on your way home, will you pick up a jar of blank? She also sent a picture of it.
Yeah, I can see the picture. Mayonnaise.
So, literally my life. It's my life. That I feel seen. I feel totally seen. It's like every single like a Trivial Pursuit game, he's gonna win every single one.
Right.
But it's like, I just wanted you to get paper towels. Could you not get the paper towels?
You see stories more and more these days about like altercations that take place on flights and people who make a big fuss over, I paid for a window seat. I don't care if some family with small children is trying to sit together. I paid for a window seat. I'm going to stay in the window seat. I'm not giving up my seat. There's a lot of these stories floating around. And this is yet one more that I thought should be seen.
The lady in 14B if she would switch seats with me because I am traveling with my family, and she was very rude and told me no. And honestly, it's just incredibly selfish of her because now I have to sit with my family for the rest of the flight.
It is rude.
Please just give me a break from my family, for the love of God.
Like, why can't she just sit with her family? God, what's wrong with her?
Do you ever like watch some of these amazing videos on Instagram of dogs that can do like absolutely amazing tricks, or they're in a dog show and they're like doing all of the crazy, swooping through the cones, and they're just like so freaking talented and amazing.
Yeah. It's usually border collies. It's usually
Yeah.
border collies that like just dominate. They go in there and they
Right.
kick everybody's ass. Yeah. And then I look at
And
my
then
dog
you look at your dog and you're like,
what have you done lately? Have you contributed to the mortgage at all? God,
So
losers.
that's kind of what happened in this household, but there was turnabout is fair play.
True. Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't really get mad at your dog.
I still do. I'm like, seriously, what have you guys done around here today to contribute? Except for being cute and fuzzy and you smell like Fritos. But other than that, what have you done?
At this point, Maisie could show me a person walking normally and be like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Step it up, Mom.
That's right. That's right. All right. We do have some thank yous from Melissa Denton, who said Gwenny's fundraiser, the link kept timing out online. Big love from a Tiger Shark fam in Wyoming. Go, G, go.
I'm sorry, Melissa. And thank you to all. You guys have been very, very generous in contributing to her fundraiser. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It's so sweet.
Very
Over on
sweet.
Locals, Roth Lady Wright said, had Omaha steaks, potatoes, and cheesecakes for Easter dinner. So delicious. Also, my 77-year-old mom is starting to go through some medical issues and has never had any medical issues before. Please pray for her. She's having trouble dealing with this. Love you guys. Be blessed. So be thinking about Roth Lady Wright's mama.
Yeah.
Audrey Krause 5 says, Daisy, I'm with you. I wasn't a fan of the Pope, and that dislike was only accentuated when a huge liberal wacko from work came up to me yesterday and said, I'm so sorry about your Pope's death. He was such a kind and wonderful man. I told her I was not a big fan of his. My favorite Pope was John Paul II. I pray that they choose a more conservative Pope rather than a socialist Pope like Francis was.
I'm afraid that's not going to be the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you.
T Media and Publishing. Samantha here. Harvard was founded in 1636. Wow. Until the mid-late 1800s, they required all students to be proficient in Hebrew before they could graduate.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
That is a very interesting factoid.
Incredible.
Uriel Gonzalez, your show yesterday was the only one that was not nonstop full-time Pope Francis. Thank you. I can't imagine doing a whole show on Pope. I would have been like, Mock, you do it yourself. I can't. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy how much coverage there was.
Yeah, I just can't do that. Elizabeth Boyer, prayer request. Your songstress is going in for ablation heart surgery tomorrow morning. So please keep me in your prayers. Much love to you both. And I will post in Insiders when I am coherent again. Prayers going out to you, Elizabeth. Yes.
She sang my birthday song at our meet and greet.
I know. I loved it. Randy Craig, did you know trees poop? That's how we get number 2 pencils. I mean, it's not even Dad Joke Wednesday.
I know. I love it.
Erica Eisenring. What's next? Give MS-13 tax exempt status for being a religion? Take my money, jerks. Right? They're going to want to give them like free educations and stuff. That's unreal. LH Star. Elaine Bettis can now relax in the ickiest, funniest dancer category because Nancy has taken over.
Oh, Elaine Bennis. Yes, from Seinfeld.
Did I say Bettis? Yeah, she wrote Bettis. Bennis is, yeah. Penny Purdue. It's Purdue, right? Purdue.
I think so.
Yes. That's it, Mock. You're grounded. Go to your room for the rest of the day. I can't remember.
What was it? Was it Nancy's dance or was it the labia puffing?
I think it was the labia puffing. Right. Bo Mama 8. On subject of enhancement surgeries, like everything else, where there's a demand, someone will bring forth the supply. It's just unfortunate. Some people are focused on stupid. It's so true, Bo Mama 8. Like, what are they doing? Jose Rodriguez, morning from Texas. Mock, streaking of labias. Speaking of labias, have you tried the new Mega Red lipstick? Just take my money.
That is an excellent segue.
Really great segue. She's going to do it. Just wait. She'll do it. You guys bring it in. We're bringing it in. I hope everybody has the most fabulous Tuesday. It's only Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday?
Yeah, it's only Tuesday.
I know. It's weird how it seems like it's later than that. I don't know why. But anyways, you guys have a fantabulous Tuesday. We will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.